We invite you into our space, invite you to create your own special holy space for this Rosh Hashanah, the second day of the new year. Maybe there are some flowers in front of you or a window you can look outside of, but a way to keep your focus, keep from being distracted, so that we can really enjoy the celebration of being together, all of us, inside and outside our renewed space. We begin on page 86 in the Machzor, welcoming ourselves to be here fully, feeling your seat beneath you, looking around, taking in what is surrounding you, who is surrounding you, settling yourself in with gratitude to start off your day. Ma tovo halecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovo halecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani ברוב חסדך ובביתך אשתחווה לך קודשך בירתך. אדוני אהבתי מעון ביתך ומקום במשכן כבודך. ואני אשתחווה ואכרע עברך לפני אדוני עושי. ואני תפילתי לך אדוני את רצון אלוהים ברוב חסדך ענני באמת אישך. Turning to 97, standing as you choose or you're able for Baruch She'amar. We have started off this new year blessed with blue skies and the oncoming of fall in all its glory. Just keep those images in your mind as we give thanks for this day celebrating creation. Baruch Shamar v'haya ha'olam baruch hu, Baruch osa v'reishit, Baruch shemo, Baruch omer v'osa, Baruch hu, Baruch gozer u'mekayem, Baruch shemo, Baruch merachem al haaretz, Baruch hu, Baruch merachem al habriot, Baruch shemo, Baruch mishalem sachar tov lireav, Baruch hu, Baruch ma'avir afela u'mevi ora, Baruch shemo, Baruch chaylar v'kayam lanetzach, Baruch hu, Baruch podeh u'matzil, Baruch hu, Baruch shemo, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hayah v'rachman v'av yishemo, meshubach umfar b'shon chasidav v'yavodav u'shirei David avdecha melech Adonai Eloheinu, bishbachot u'vizmirot, l'rel derchan shebechachan v'erchan neskir shimcha, v'namlecha malkeinu Eloheinu, yachid chei olamim melech meshubach umfar, adei ad shemo hagadol, Baruch atah Adonai melech mo'olam batishbachot. There's an amen there. 119, you can take your seats. Hallelujah, Psalm 150. Hallelujah, 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 el bikodsho, hallelujah, birkiauzo, hallelujah, vigvurotav, hallelujah, krov godlo, shofar. Hallelu b'nevel v'chinor. Hallelu b'tof u'machol. Hallelu b'minim v'ugav. Hallelujah. 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 Betzilei shama. Hallelujah. Betzilei trua. Kol haneshama te'aleluya. Kol haneshama te'aleluya. Hallelujah. 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 Turning to 125. And again, I'll remind people if there are pieces that we're skipping, pieces you would like to reflect on, contemplate, please take your time with the machzor as you choose. On 125, we invoke this sense of God as Gevurah, as strength, as discipline, as a power we can depend on. Hamelech opens the morning service of Rosh Hashanah. 125. Amelech hayoshev al kisei ram v'nisa shochen ad marom v'kadosh shemo v'chatuv ranenu tzadikim b'Adonai la'yesharim navatahila b'fi yesharim titromam uvdivrei tzadikim titbarach uvilshon chasidim titkadash ובקרב קרושים תתעלה. 126 ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו היה למלך הגדול הקדוש בשמיים בארץ כי לך אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו ולאמותינו שיר השבחה עליו זמרה עוז הממשלה נצח גדולה גבורה תהילה ותפארת קדושה ומלכות ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול ותשבחות אל ההודות אדוני נפלאות הבוחר בשירי זמרה מלך אל חי עולמים. On the next page, 127, let's rise together, Chatzi Kaddish, as we begin to recognize one another and see this magnificent holy community that we create among the seen and the unseen. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'am hadivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael b'gala u'v'zman kariv v'meru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam v'omel maya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach mitpar v'tramam v'tkasei v'tadar v'tale v'tala shemei dekodesha b'richu la'ela ula'ela mikol birchata v'shirata Tushmechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'aha v'imru. 131. Baruchu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam va'ed. As we take our seats, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvorei choshech oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. I'm going to turn to 134. Special piyut written for Rosh Hashanah, the alphabetical acrostic, all of the gifts, all of the things for which we're grateful. So you might want to focus on one or another as we go through the list. Ha'aderet ve'amunah l'chai olamim, ha'bina ve'habracha l'chai olamim. Agava ve'agdula l'chai olamim, adea ve'adipur l'chai olamim. Hadar lechai olamim, havad ve'havatikut lechai olamim, hazok ve'azohar lechai olamim, hachayil ve'achosen lechai olamim. Ha'techet ve'hatohar lechai olamim, ha'yichud ve'hayira lechai olamim, ha'keter ve'hakavod lechai olamim, ha'lekach ve'alibuv lechai olamim. Ha'melucha ve'hamemshala lechai olamim, ha'noi ve'hanetzach lechai olamim, ha'sigui ve'hasegev lechai olamim, ha'oz ve'hanava lechai olamim. Ha'padur ve'ha'pe'er lechai olamim, ha'tzvi ve'hatzedek lechai olamim, ha'kriya ve'ha'kedusha lechai olamim, ha'aron ve'haromamut lechai olamim. והשבח לך עולמים, התהילה והתפארת לך עולמים. Send greetings of Shana Tova to our friend Raphael Galva, who brought us that pute. Now, if you'll turn in your handout to page 6, at the bottom of the page, let's read together. Every day, creation is renewed. Wake up and see unfolding in the spreading light of dawn, the world and all it contains, coming into being, new, fresh, filled with divine goodness and love. Every day, creation is renewed. Reflected in the great lights, we see a new day, one precious day, eternity. On 143. חדש על ציון תאיר ונזכרו לנו במהרה לאורו. אור חדש על ציון תאיר ונזכרו לנו במהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות. 148, which is preparing us to come together, bringing our whole selves into Shema, oneness. Ahava rabavtanu Adonai Eloheinu chemla gedol aviteira chamata leinu Avinu Malkeinu Ba'avor Avoteinu Ve'imoteinu Shabatachu V'cha Avinu Malkeinu V'talamdem Chokei Chaim Ken Techonenu Tlamdenu Avinu Harachaman Hamrachem Rachem Aleinu V'ten b'libenu lahavin ol haskil lishmoa, lilamod ulelamed, lishmor v'lasot, ulekayem et kol divrei Talmud Toratecha b'yahava, v'ha'er einenu b'toratecha, v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yached levavenu le'ahava ul'yirat shemecha, v'lo nebosh, v'lo nikalem, v'lo nikashel, la'olam ba'ed, ki v'shem kodshecha hagadol v'hanora b'atachnu nagila v'nismecha v'shu'atecha v'havienu l'shalom me'arba kanfot haaretz v'tolichenu komemiut le'artzeinu ki el poel Yeshuotata, ki el poel Yeshuotata, v'keravtanu l'shcha hagadol, Selah, Selah, Selah be'emet, l'hodot lecha, u'yachedcha be'ahava. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Continuing at your own pace through 153. Adonai Elohim. We're going to be continuing on 159, Michamocha, taking us into the special Amidah for Rosh Hashanah, an Amidah that prominently holds the word tikva in it, that each new year brings us a renewal of hope. And of course, we'll begin all of it together, and then you'll have time for your own davening, what's on the page and what's in your heart. And you'll take your seat when you feel that you have poured out your heart enough or heard what you need to hear. You'll take your seat, and we'll wait till everyone comes together by singing Oseh Shalom. This is a passage by Rabbi Naomi Levy from her book, Begin Again. And it's a very personal passage. So I want to make very clear, this is not my story. This is her story. In the years since my father's death, I have learned to trust, to hope, and to laugh again. After my first marriage ended, I somehow learned how to open my eyes, my heart, and my arms again. Throughout our lives, we should feel the pain of our losses, the scars still present even after much time has passed. But we will also feel the strength of our spirit, the ability to persevere in the face of pain, the power to dream despite the many nightmares of existence, the stamina to push forward into the future, carrying our past with us all the while. This is the power of God within us. This is our hope, our salvation. This is how we begin again. Page 159. Moshe uMiriam uBnei Yisrael lechanu shira b'simcha rabba ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, שירה חדשה, שבחו גאולים, לשמך לשפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, והמליכו, ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדחנו ממך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Adonai, שפתי תפתח ופי אגיד תהילתך. Open my lips, beloved one, let my mouth declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Vimotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Velohei Rachel Veleah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevii Gula Livnei V'neihem L'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava מסוד חכמים ונבונים ומלמד דעת מבינים הבטחה בי בתפילה ובתחנונים לחלות ולחנן פני מלך מלכי המלכים ואדוני האדונים זוכרנו לחיים מלך חפץ בחיים וכותבנו בספר החיים למענך אלוהים חיים מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ברופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך מביט ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה מי כמוך אב הרחמים זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei Hametim. On 163. ובכן לך כל יכתירו ליל עורך דין, לבוחן לבבות ביום דין, לגול עמוקות בדין, לדובר משרים ביום דין, להוגה דעות בדין. לוותיק ועושה חסד ביום דין, לזוכר בריתו בדין, לחומל מסעיו ביום דין, לטהר חוסיו בדין, ליודע מחשבות ביום דין, לחובש כעסו בדין, ללובש צדקות ביום דין, למוחל עוונות בדין, לנורא תהילות ביום דין, לסולח למוסר בדין, לא לקורב ביום דין, לפועל רחמיו בדין, לצופן נסתרות ביום דין, וקונה עבדיו בדין, לרחם עמו ביום דין, לשומר אוהביו בדין, לתומך תמימיו ביום דין. ובכן הולך תעלה קדושה, כי אתה אלוהינו מלך, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו. אז בקול רעש גדול, אדיר וחזק משמיעים קול, מתנשאים לעומת שרפים, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. ממקומך מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו כי מחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך בציון, וקרב בימינו, לעולם בעת תשכון. תתגדל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים, עירך לדור ודור ולנצח נצחים, ועינינו תראנה מלכותך כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך על ידי דוד משיח צדקך. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש בשבחך. אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה. עושה שלום מפעמיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ark. Wylan is going to come up to open the ark for Avinu Malkeinu, which is on 177. Please rise. On the right-hand side. Keep going on the right. There you go. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, ein lanu melech elata. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh imanu leman shemecha. Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova. Avinu Malkeinu, hafer atzat oivenu. Avinu Malkeinu, stom fiut maskinenu. Makatrigenu, Avinu Malkeinu, kalei dever v'cherev v'ra'av u'shvi u'mashchit mibnei techa. Avinu Malkeinu, salach u'machol la'avanotenu. Avinu Malkeinu, achzirenu b'tshuva shlema lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, shlach refuah shlema lefanecha. Kodvenu b'sefer chayim tovim. Kodvenu b'sefer gula v'yishua. Kodvenu b'sefer panas avachakala. Kodvenu b'sefer zechiyot. Kodvenu b'sefer slicha u'fila. Avinu Malkeinu atzmach l'anu yishua v'karov. Avinu Malkeinu malei yadeinu mibrachotecha. Avinu Malkeinu k'dal barachami movratzon et tfilatenu. Avinu Malkeinu na'al shivenu reikam lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu zachor ki afar anachnu. Avinu Malkeinu malenu ve'al tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu aseh lemanu v'gimel shem k'shecha. Avinu Malkeinu aseh leman shimcha gadol hagibor v'hanora shenikra aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu chonenu v'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu chonenu v'aneinu ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu chonenu v'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu chonenu v'aneinu ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu chonenu v'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu chonenu v'aneinu ki ein banu masim. We'll take our seats and turn to 180 to close the shacharit, the morning service. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael b'gala u'bizman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam ol'olmei omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekodesh abrihu le'elo le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata
ושפחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותון ובאותון, וכל בית ישראל קדם אבון, דיבי שמיה ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה, וחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו ויאמרו ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו amen.
So now as we prepare to receive Torah, a number of people will come up to the bima. First of all, Craig Schneider and Naomi Herbstman, our Gabbai, Henry Barber. Chava, Jackie Horowitz is opening the Ark. Carrying the first Torah will be David Tabachnik, and the second Torah is Hillary Marcus. I don't know that everyone is here, so why don't you all come up and we'll see who we still need. And our Torah readers will come up when the time comes. Barry Davis, Jonathan Magaziner, and Ruth Letterman will come up in a little bit. On 189. Okay. Here. David's here. Okay, you're all here. $185. En kmocha Elohim Adonai, ve'en k'maasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yavarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiv avirtzoncha et Tzion. Tivneh chomot Yerushalayim, tivneh chomot Yerushalayim, ki v'cha levad batachnu, melech Elram v'nisa, Adon olamim. Vayhi b'neso Aharon, vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai, v'yafutzu oivecha, v'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. 186. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Nose Avon v'Fesha v'Chata v'Nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Nose Avon v'Fesha v'Chata v'Nakeh.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim, Rav Chesed V'Emet, Notzer Chesed L'Alafim, Nosei Avot V'Fesha V'Chata V'Nakeh. Vani tfilati l'cha Adonai et ratzon Elohim berov chasdecha aneni bemet ishecha.
188. This is our custom. Do your best to repeat after me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Benora Shemo. Gadlu Adonai iti, Unaromama Shemo Yachdav Lecha Adonai. Thank you. Agavura Atiferet Vehanetzach Vehahod Kifo Bashamayim Uvaretz Kifo Bashamayim Uvaretz Lecha Adonai Hamamlacha Yamit Naseh Lechol Rosh Romemu Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'hishtakavu L'adom raglav kadoshu Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'hishtakavu L'har kodsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'hishtakavu L'har kodsho Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'hishtakavu L'har kodsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'hishtakavu L'har kodsho Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'hishtakavu L'har kodsho. As we take our seats, As is our custom on the second day, we have group aliyot. Today, I'm going to give you an option whether you want to come up masked or you want to stand where you are. There are advantages either way. And we have 5 aliyot today. And yesterday I spoke about Torah being an expression of the experience of our ancestors, and an expression of something they considered holy. And remarkably, there are things that are not blissful or good or kind or generous. There are people who make mistakes and are flawed in Torah, and yet we find holiness in those stories. And it's our job not to try to understand them, or we may want to know the historical context of ancient Israel. For today, I'd like us each to consider each aliyah and imagine, what do we get from that story? Perhaps place yourself in the story as Abraham or as Yitzchak, or perhaps as Sarah, who doesn't appear in the writing at all, but we know she's in the background because Abraham's taken her son away for 3 days. You might want to place yourself in the story as Sarah. Or perhaps you want to be something that is not one of the characters, the people in the story. You might want to be the ram in the thicket, waiting to be seen, waiting to be found, knowing that you really have a purpose and no one has paid attention to that until the very last minute. There are a number of ways to consider that. I am going to invite people in categories, and you can place yourself in any category, as many as you want. The beauty of a group aliyah is no matter who you are, what your background, how old you are, what you know, you are invited to this aliyah, and the blessings themselves can either be found on 189, or we have them up here for those who are up here. And just take a moment to place yourself in the story, see how it speaks to you. So I'm not going to give you the whole range of aliyot in advance. We'll just give you each one at a time. Our first aliyah is for those who are seeing to details, those who organize, those who give structure, or perhaps you're seeking more organizational help, more structure in your life. That may be another way of seeing this. This is Abraham getting up and taking care of every single detail to be prepared for what is to come. So if there are people who would like to come up to the bima for that, please do. If you'd like to stand in your place as a person who either feels very organized and that's how your focus is on the details, or perhaps needs more of that. And our first reader is Barry Davis. V'yazar v'yagen v'yoshia l'kol ha'kosim bo v'namar. Amen. Hakol havugad aleinu tnu chavod la'Torah. Ekra la'amod kol hamitkonanim. All those who prepare, seek to be prepared. L'aliyah rishana. Baruch shanatan Torah l'moiser v'dashato. V'yatem hadvekim b'Adonai Elohechem. Chaim kolchem hayom. And the reading itself is on not 195, 209 for the reading. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kivanu la'azot v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu HaTorah.
Amen.
It's not no. There's two of them like that. Oh. Saw him. We saw him. Amen. Vayhi acha advarim ha'eleh v'ha Elohim nisa et Avraham. Vayomer Elav Avraham. Vayomer Hineni. Vayomer Kach na et bincha et achicha asher ahavta et Yitzchak v'lech lecha el eretz Amoria v'ha'alehu sham lo'ala al achad harim asher omar elecha vayashkem Avraham baboker vayachavosh et chamaro vayikach et shnei nerav ito ve'et Yitzchak beno vayivakar atei ola vayakam vayelech el hamakom asher amalo o Elohim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam atah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those who are standing. Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Baruch Avaleah, and give them the possibility that all your plans come to fruition for the good. Now we'll call the second aliyah. Those who see the big picture, who bring imagination and insight, or perhaps you are looking for the big picture. Perhaps that's what you need most. Jonathan Magaziner is chanting the second aliyah, which you'll find on page 211. See if you can place yourself in the story. We have no big picture, people. Okay, we have a few. There we go. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamorach. Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kervanu la'avodato v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Bayom hashlishi vayisa Avraham et enav vaya et hamakom derachok. Vayomer Abraham el ne'arav shulachem po im hachamor va'ani v'hana'a ne'ocha ad ko v'nishtachaveh v'nashuva alechem. ויקח אברהם את עצי העולה וישם על יצחק בנו ויקח בידו את האש ואת המאכלת וילכו שניהם יחדיו. ויאמר יצחק אל אברהם אביו ויאמר אביו ויאמר הנני בני ויאמר הנה האש והעצים ואיה הסר לעולה. ויאמר אברהם אלוהים יראה לו הסר לעולה בני, וילכו שניהם יחדיו.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Mishberach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Kavarcha v'Leah. May the Holy One bless all these who are standing. May your vision be clear and far, and may you find strength in seeing the unseen. And our third aliyah is when Abraham discovers that it's not his son he's meant to sacrifice at all. He finds something unusual, the ram in the thicket. These are for people who are creative, those who find unusual possibilities, or perhaps you may need some encouragement to see beyond what is immediately in front of you, to see those possibilities. Ya'amdu kol hamedamyanim lala shlishit. A couple of people who can come up. And Jonathan is reading again. Page 213. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayavohu el hamakom asher amar lo haElohim. Vayiden sham Abraham et hamizbeach vaya'aroch et ha'etzim vaya'akod et Yitzchak beno vayasem oto al hamizbeach nima'al la'etzim. Vayishlach Abraham et yado vayikach את המאכלת לשחוט את בנו. ויקרא אליו מלאך אדוני מן השמיים ויאמר אברהם אברהם ויאמר הנני ויאמר אל תשלח ידך אל הנער ואל תעש לו מאומה כי אתה ידעתי ירא אלוהים אתה ולא חסכת את בנך, את יהירך ממני. וישא אברהם את עיניו, וירא והנה איל נאחז בספח בקרניו. וילך אברהם ויקח את האיל ויעלהו לעולה תחת בנו. ויקרא אברהם שם המקום ההוא אדוני יראה, אשר יאמר היום אדוני יראה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan לנו תורת אמת, וחיי ימינו נתן צופנו. Baruch atah Adonai נותן התורה.
Yishaberach Avotenu V'Imotenu Avram Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarah Kach Rachel V'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless you with the creativity. May it be fed by curiosity, passion, and goodwill. Now for our fourth aliyah. These are for people who sustain others, and by sustaining others are sustained. Those who keep things going, those who nurture, feed, heal, or tend. The fourth aliyah is on 215. You have someone who wants to come up? אקרא לעמוד, כל התומכים לעלייה הרביעית. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirvanu la'avodato v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayikra malach Adonai el Avraham shenit min hashamayim. Vayomer bi nishpati ne'um Adonai ki ya'an asher asita et hadavar hazeh v'lo chasachta et bincha et yichidecha. כי ברך אברכך והרבה הרבה את זרעך כוכבי השמיים וכחול אשר על שפת הים, וירש זרעך את שער אויביו. והתברכו בזרעך כל באי הארץ, עקב אשר שמעת בקולי. וישב אברהם אל נעריו, ויקומו וילכו יחדיו אל באר שבע. וישב אברהם בבאר שבע.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Amen. Mishaberach Avotenu V'Imotenu Avram Yitzchak V'Yaakov Saru Karachel V'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless you who guide and heal and tend. And may you remember the source that you have to replenish yourself. May it give you the love, compassion, wisdom, and resilience and courage that you need. For our fifth aliyah, Ruth is going to continue reading on 2:15. This is a litany of new births. So again, we can celebrate new births. And I know Wendy's here and Hannah is here, Mother Asher. And anyone who wants to count your blessings, this is your aliyah. So you need a few people up on the bima, people standing. Anyone counting their blessings? Ekra lamot kol ela hamodim berchotehem le'aliyah chamishit. Kava, you gonna go up? Yeah. Do you want to kiss the toe?
Baruch Adonai Hambarach,
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'avim, ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Amen. Vayehi אחרי הדברים האלה ויוגד לאברהם לאמור, הנה ילדה מילכה גם היא בנינו נחור אחיך, את עוז בכורו ואת בוז אחיו, ואת כמואל אבי ארם, ואת כסד ואת חזו, ואת פילדש ואת ידלף, ואת בתואל, ובתואל ילד את רבקה, שמונה אלה ילדה מילכה לנחור אחי אברהם, ופילגשו ושמה רומה, ותלד גם היא את טבח ואת כחם ואת תחש ואת מאחה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai notei haTorah. Amen.
Hold on, Henry, hold on. Mishberach Avotenu V'Imotenu Avram Yitzchak V'Yaakov Saru Karachel V'Leah. May the Holy One bless you and help you find blessing, and may the blessings you find give root to more blessings. And now please rise. Henry's going to bring the scroll over to the other table. Tim and Eliza here are going to come up because we'll need you in a second. We'll also need Nir and Serena Madar up on the bima. But first, a blessing for healing on 223. Now that the Torah is down, you can take your seats and we'll offer the prayer for healing in the middle. I'll give each of you time to say a name as I look around the room, starting on this side and moving over if you want to stand and give a name of anyone you're thinking of who's in need of healing today. Mishaberach Avotenu Makor HaBracha
Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Is there someone in the back?
Zechariah ben Bacha.
Baby Shachari.
And all those who are watching, if you can put the names in the chat, and we hold everyone together as we continue singing on 223. Misha berak imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Ya amor magvia tamoraga ekralamora magvia kralamora lelet sefer rishon. We rise. 217. The Torah is lifted. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Lai, 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 la, la, lai, 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 You feel free to take your seats. Nir and Sereno, come over to chant the Maftir reading on page 219. Ekra lamot shen devara bat David va'adal bona Maftira.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
אמן. ובחודש השביעי, באחד לחודש, מקרא קודש יהיה לכם, כל מלאכת עבודה לא תעשו, יום תרועה יהיה לכם. עשיתם עולה לריח ניחוח, לאדוני, פר בן בקר אחד, איל אחד, כבשים בני שנה, 7 מינים. ומנחתם סולת, גלולה בשמן, 3 עשרונים לפר, 2 עשרונים לעיל, ועשרון אחד לכבש האחד, כ7 הכבשים, ושעיר עזים אחד חטאת, לכפר עליכם, מלבד עולת החודש ומנחתה, ועולת התמיד ומנחתה, ונסכם כמשפטם, לריח ניחוח, אישל אדוני.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Ekra lamod, Magbiha, Ekra lamod, Agalelet, Diana and Deanna, we rise for the lifting of the second scroll. Wizard Torah, Asher Sam Moshe, Lifnei Bnei Yisrael, Al Pi Adonai, B'yad Moshe. La 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 I'll do that. You take the books. You take the books. You take the books. La 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 You're done, yeah. La 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 Shkach. La 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 la. Take your seats as we turn for the Haftarah to 235. Again, we have a story of someone who is seeking something, and invite you to put yourself in this story. Are you Hannah? Are you in need and seeking help? Are you in the prayer of Hannah? Are you in Eli, who's hearing someone else's need and trying to figure out how to respond to them, how to understand them? The Haftarah, as I said, begins on 235, and Serena Madar. Oh, wrong one. Completely wrong Haftarah. Sorry, Hannah was yesterday.
225,
Yeah. But you're doing 235.
235, yeah.
Which is Jeremiah. But it's also something you can put yourself into. I miss Hannah. It's okay. There's a lovely image here of, it's interesting. I read a piece yesterday about how God is maternal in some of these readings. And even though God says, I am like an Av, I am like a father, there's also a maternal element of Rachel, right? Have I got the right Haftarah? Rachel calling out for her children and bringing us back. It's about coming back home to our souls. Enough said. I'll leave it to Serena.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nviei haemet v'tzedek. Ko amar Adonai matzah chen bamidbar am siridei charev haloch largio Yisrael merachok Adonai nira li ve'avat olam avtich al ken mishachti chased. Od evnech v'nivnet betulat Yisrael, od tadi tupaich v'yatzat b'mechol mesachakim, od tit'i chiramim baharei Shomron, nat'u not'im v'chilelu, ki yesh yom karu notzrim behar Ephraim, Kumu v'nale Tzion el Adonai Eloheinu, Kicho amar Adonai, Ranu liYaakov simcha, v'tzahalu b'rosh hagoyim, Hashmiu hallelu v'imru, Hosha Adonai et amcha et she'erit Yisrael. Hineni meviotam me'eretz tzafon v'kibatztim mi'archet ketei aretz bam iver ufiseach hara v'yoledet yachdav kahal gadol yashuvu heina bivchi yavo uvtachanunim Ovilem, Olichem, El Nachle Maim, B'derech Yashar Lo Yikashlu Ba, Ki Haiti Yisrael Le'av, Ve'Ephraim Bechorihu, Shim'u Devar Adonai Goyim, Behagidu Vayim, Mimerchak, Vimru, Mizarei Yisrael Yikabtenu, Ushmaro Kiro Edro, Kifada Adonai et Yaakov, Ugalo Miad Chazak Mimenu, Uvau Barananu Vimrom Tzion Venaharu El Tov Adonai Al Dagan Val Tirosh Val Yitzhar Val B'nai Tzon Uvakar Vayita Nafsham Kegan Ravev V'lo Yosifu Ledavaod Az Tismach Betula B'machol Uvachurim Uzkenim Yachdav V'afachti Evlam L'sason V'nichamtim V'simachtim Migonam V'riveti Nefesh HaKohanim Dashen V'ami etuvi Isba'u Neum Adonai Ko amar Adonai, Kol berama nishma, Nehi bechi tamruim, Rachel mivaka al baneha, Me'ena linachem al baneha, Ki enenu. Ko amar Adonai, Min I kolech mi bechi, Ve'enayich mi dim'a, Ki Yesh sachar lefulatech neum Adonai v'shavu me'eretz oyev v'yesh tikva la'acharitech neum Adonai v'shavu vanim ligvulam. Shamoa shamati Ephraim mitnoded Yesartani ve'yivaser kegelo lumad Hashiveni v'ashuva ki ata Adonai Elohai כי אחרי שובי נחמתי, ואחרי היוועדי ספגתי על ירך, בשתי וגם נחמתי, כי נשאתי חרפת נעוריי. הבן יכיר לי אפרים, אם ילד שעשועים, כי מדי דיברי בו, זכור אזכרנו עוד, על כן המו מעילו, רחם רחמנו, נאום אדוני. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, צור כל העולמים, צדיק בכל הדורות, האל הנאמן, האומר ועושה, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק. נאמן אתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ונאמנים דבריך, ודבר אחד מדבריך, אחור לא ישוב ריקם, כי אל מלך נאמן ורחמן אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הנאמן בכל דבריו. רחם על ציון כי היא בית חיינו, ולעלובות נפש תושיע במהרה בימינו, ברוך אתה אדוני, משמח ציון בבניה. שמחנו אדוני אלוהינו, בהליכו הנביא עבדך, ובמלכות בית דוד משיחך, במהרה יבוא ויגל ליבנו, על כיסא לא ישב זר, ולא ינחלו עוד אחרים את כבודו, כי בשם קודשך נשבעת לו, שלא יכבה נרו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן דוד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום הזיכרון הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד, מברך אמת וקיים לעד. ברוך אתה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ, מקדש ישראל. מלך על כל הארץ, מקדש ישראל. מלך על כל הארץ, מקדש ישראל ביום הזיכרון.
Amen. Sharkochech. Thank you, Serena. Thank you to all of our Torah readers, near and far, near and Barry and Jonathan and Ruth. And we're a well-oiled team here, it's clear. So if anybody's asleep, it's time to wake up. We are going to hear the shofar on 251. Claudia Harris will be coming up along with Sarah and Tammy Schneider to hold the Torah scrolls, and Chava, if you'll come up also we'll need you to open the ark in a little bit as well. And having heard the story of Abraham and the ram in the thicket, we are reminded that it is that ram that saves us. It is the shofar, which is actually not from a ram, the one that Claudia is sounding, but the ram is the shofar is the reminder that there is that possibility that where we think we're going all the time may not be in the right direction, and that we need to really listen for God's call. Where are you? And we need to seek the better path, the ram in the thicket. Claudia? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar. Tkiya shvarim trua. Tkia. Tkia. Shvarim trua. Tkia. Tkia. Shvarim trua. Tkia. Tkia. Shivarim. Bam, bam, shivarim. Tkia. Shivarim. Claudia, Claudia. Tkia. Tkia. Shivarim. Tkia. Tkia. Teruah. Tkia. Tkia. Teruah. Tkia. Tkia. Teruah. Tkia. Idolah. Amen, amen, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Before we return the Torah to the ark, I want to thank Claudia for reminding us of two things. The shofar reminds us that in the tekiah we are whole, and in the shvarim we are broken. In the truah we are completely messed up. And in tekiah we are made whole again. And so that also reminds us that the act of tshuva, of becoming whole again, is not easy. Just as sounding the shofar is not easy. So thank you for sharing that. And now we're on 257. And we'll carry the Torah scrolls. Just a moment. Not 257. 254. Yahalalu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado, odol eretz v'shamayim, v'yaren keren li'amo, tila lechol chasidav, livnei Yisrael am krovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. 256. L'David mizmor, l'Adonai ha'aretz u'melo'a, tevel v'yoshveva, ki hu al yamim yesada, ve'al neharot yachoneneha. Mi ya'aleh b'har Adonai, u'mi yakum b'makom kodsho, neki chapayim u'var levav, asher lo nasa l'shav nafshi, v'lo nishba l'mirma. Yisav racham et Adonai, u'tzedaka melohei yisho, zedor dorsha, mevakshe panecha Yaakov sela,
So sharim rashem, v'hinasu pitachei olam, v'yavo melech hakavod, mizeh melech hakavod, Adonai izuz v'gibor, Adonai gibor milchama. So sharim rashem, so pitchei olam, v'yavo melech hakavod, mihu ze melech hakavod, Adonai tzvaot hu melech hakavod, Selah. Uvnucha Yomar 257. Shuv Adonai, Revot of Israel. Ki lekach tov natati lachem, Torati al tazovu, Eitz chayim hi, lamachazikim bach, v'tomcheha, Meushar deracheha, darchei noam, v'chol netivoteha, shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu kekedem. Thank you both. Before we begin the Musaf service, I have a guided meditation for everyone. Or as you choose, you can listen to it as a poem. However, if you're comfortable, I encourage you to find a way to sit in these wonderful chairs and feel your spine held, feel your feet on the ground, feel held. We will daven the Amidah in a little bit. This is written by Rabbi Sharon Cohn Anisfeld. It's called The Ram's Horn on Being Caught in the Thicket. So wherever you are, I'd like you to rest in your space and take in through your nose 3 deep breaths and let them out through your mouth, one at a time. If you choose, you can close your eyes or let them settle gently toward the floor. The ram's horn is silent at first, as is the ram caught in the thicket, waiting for Abraham to lift his head and see. It appears at the last minute out of nowhere, when it's almost too late. Of course, it was there all along, since twilight on the eve of the first Shabbat, we are told. It was there before darkness fell. We barely knew what darkness was then. It was there all along, waiting for us to open our eyes, waiting for us to see another way. It's not just our stubbornness that blinds us. Sometimes it's the commanding voice of faith. Sometimes it's the commanding voice of despair. And sometimes it's the thicket itself, the thorny, tangled overgrowth of our lives. It's not that we're blind. We're just busy, schlepping the wood,
tending the fire, building the altar, trying to quiet the children, trying to answer their questions, even though God knows we can't answer our own. Up until the angel calls out and Abraham lifts his eyes, up until the ram suddenly appears caught in the thicket, the trajectory of the story, the tragic momentum of the story seems irresistible, irreversible, inevitable. The sacrifice has to be offered. The child will have to die. This is the power of the shofar. It beckons us back to this moment in the story. No longer silent, it calls us back to the ram from which it came, and it asks us, think about the thicket of your own life. What possibilities have you not seen? Think about a story you're telling yourself, whose outcome you think you already know. What alternatives have you not noticed? And think about the path we are all on together, the altars at the end of the road, the children we love but seem prepared to sacrifice. Look up, listen, incline your heart, your ear to the hollow, bent ram's horn, through which human breath becomes a summons and a blast. What might we hear? How might we respond? Please take a moment. When you're ready to come back, wherever you are, please open your eyes and join us on page 263. You're invited to rise in body or in spirit. Yitgadal, Yitgadash Merabah, Be'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uvyomechon, Uvachayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala ubizman karim bimru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbam varach le'olam amen. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yirmam mitnasei v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemedu kudesha brichu leila uleila mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma b'meru. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel Leah, Ha'el Agadol, Hagibor Vanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekonei Hakol, Zocher Chasdei Avot Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shmo B'Ahava, Zochreinu L'chaim, Melech Hafetz B'chaim, B'chodvenu B'sefer HaChaim, L'mancha Elohim Chaim, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע מחכה חיים בחסד מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ברופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע מי כמוך אב הרחמים זוכר יצורה וחיים ברחמים ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. 267 we begin the Kedusha 5 lines down. הנרץ והנקדש כסוד שיח שרפי קודש המקדישים שמך בקודש דרי מעלה עם דרי מטה ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו, לי, כבודו, מלא עולם, משרתיו, שואלים זה לזה, איה מקום כבודו, לעומתם, ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו הוא יפן ברחמים ויחונם המייחדים שמו ערב ובוקר בכל יום תמיד פעמיים באהבה שמה אומרים יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד הוא אלוהינו
ומלכנו ומושיענו, והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו שנית לעיני כל חי, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ, היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. ובדברי קודשך כתוב לאמור, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, נצח צחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה.
Imagination is quiet in this space, so peaceful. Very warm about the quiet. And a real gift to be quiet together. Now we're going to turn to Untitled Chapter together on 296. I'm going to share this teaching about the image in the midst of Untitled Chapter. All who have entered the world, that is anyone. This is not a Jewish prayer specifically, this is a prayer for all of us. We pass before you like a flock of sheep. Much has been written about what it means to be in a flock of sheep. Does that mean we give up all of our identity and control? Or we're just followers? So the Midrash teaches, why are Israel likened to a sheep? Just as with a lamb, when it is hurt on the head or any other limb, all the limbs feel it. So it is with us. If only one of us sins, we are all affected by the consequences. Torah says, when one person sins, will you be angry with the whole community? And our sainted teacher, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who we learned about yesterday, taught, this can be compared to people on a ship. When one takes a drill and begins drilling a hole beneath their own place, and the other passengers cry out, what are you doing? And they said in response, why should you care? I'm only drilling under my seat. And they responded, because the water will come up and flood the ship for all of us. Being like a flock of sheep is a reminder that we are all in this together. The ark is now open for Untitled Chapter. Lori Newman is invited to come up. 296, and when the ark is open, you're invited to rise.
My apologies. Okay, now you can hear. Should I do all that again? All right, back to this awesome prayer. We are all in this together. Thank you, Rob. Unetane tokef kedushat hayom, ki hu nora vayom, uvo tinaseh malchutecha, vayifon b'chesed kisecha, Vateshev alav b'emet. Truly, you are the judge who calls us to account, the all-knowing witness. You record and seal, count and measure. You remember all that is forgotten. You open the book of memories and it speaks for itself. For each of us by our deeds has put our signature to it. Of shofar gadol yitaka, v'chol dmama daka The great shofar is sounded, and yet a still small voice is heard. All who've entered the world pass before you like a flock of sheep, like a shepherd who takes account of the flock, causing each one to pass beneath the staff. So you review, recount, and appraise the life of every human being.
Mavirtsono tachat shivto. 298. Berosh Hashanah yikatevun, uvyom tzom kippur yechatemun. Berosh Hashanah yikatevun, uvyom tzom kippur yechatemun. Kama yavrun, v'kama yibareun, mi yichya u'mi yamut, mi v'kitzo, u'mi lo v'kitzo, mi v'esh u'mi v'mayim, mi v'karev u'mi v'chaya. Berosh Hashanah yikatevun, uvyom tzom kippur yekatemun. Berosh Hashanah yikatevun, uvyom tzom kippur yekatemun. Mi varav u'mi vatzama, mi varash u'mi vamagefa, mi vachanika u'mi biskila. Berosh Hashanah yikatevun, uvyom tzom kippur yechatemun. Berosh Hashanah yikatevun, uvyom tzom kippur yechatemun. Mi yanuach u'mi yanua, mi shaket u'mi yitaref, mi shalev u'mi yitasar, mi ani u'mi asher, mi shafel u'mi yarum. Uteshuva, utefila, utzedaka, mavirin et roh hagzerah. But teshuvah, tefillah, and tzedakah, repentance, prayer, and righteous deeds transform the harshness of the decree. 10 lines down on 299. Adam yesodo me'afar v'sofo le'afar b'nafsho yavi lachmo oy משהו כחרס, אוי משהו כחרס, כחרס הנשבר, אדם, אדם, אדם. אדם יסודו מעפר, וסופו לעפר, בנפשו יביא לחמו, יביא לחמו. אוי חציר יבש וחציץ נובל כצל עובר וכענן חלה אדם יסודו מעפר וסופו לעפר בנפשו יביא לחמו יביא לחמו וכרוח נושבת וכאבק פורח וכך חלום יעוף אדם 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 ואתה הוא מלך אל חי וקיים. Thank you, Lord. We're going to take our seats, and this is where we create a prayer together on this second day of Rosh Hashanah. We are going to create an alphabetical acrostic, and I'm going to give you a letter of the alphabet. You'll answer the question by calling out a word, and I know with masks, it may be a little more difficult either to call or to hear. We'll all do our best. So the question of the hour is, what seeds are you planting this year? What seeds are you planting in yourself? What seeds are you planting in the world? Let's start with A. Audacity. Apple. Apples. B. Did I hear amazement? I like that. Thank you. Amazement is a great one. All right, B. Beauty. Blessing, believing, breathing. Bravery. C. Caring, courage, compassion, calm, charity, creativity, community. D. Divinity, deliverance, delight. Delivering more sound to the. I can't do. No, it's okay. Sorry. We'll leave it. This is what I got. We'll plant seeds for next year for better sound.
Next week.
E.
Energy.
Energy. Eden. Did I hear Eden? Enlightenment. Empathy. F. Seeds we're planting. Freedom. Faith. Fulfillment. Forgiveness. Forests. G. Gardens. Gratitude. H. Hope. Holiness. Health. Honesty. Humility. I. Insight. Thank you. Integrity.
Inspiration.
Inspiration. Individuality. I want to add imagination. J.
Justice. Joy. Lots of seeds of joy. K. Kindness. Knowledge. L. Laughter. Love. Listening. M. Music. Mindfulness. N. Nourishment. Naka. O. Openings. Openness. Oh. Opportunity. P. Patience. Public health. Pushing. Possibility. I would accompany pushing with pausing. All right, you ready for Q? Questioning. Quiet. Wonderful. R. Quest. All right, R. Resilience. Rest. Redemption. Renewal. Recycling. Recycling, reusing, repurposing. Resolve. S. Science. Silver linings. Sharing. Serenity. Solutions. I'm sorry, a couple. Synergy. Soaring. Planting soaring. T. Tranquility. Trust. Trying. Thoughtfulness. U. Unity. Understanding. Us. Planting seeds of us. Uplifting. Unifying. V. All right, I didn't make out either of those. Say it again. Vision. Marcy, did you write it? Bigger. We'll say bigger. Vaccines, thank you very much. Voting. Could be. Very concrete. Veracity. W. Vision. And? World healing. Wisdom. Wonder. Wholeness. Now with X, it can be an EX word. Exhilaration. Excitement. Extraordinary. Exhale. Exploration. Why? Yearning. Yes. And Z. The yellow of the sun. And Z. Zeal.
Zoological gardens.
Say that again, Ann.
Zoological
Oh,
gardens.
zoological gardens. Okay.
Yes. Zest. Wow, I mean, what, no, we're not just, you're just not planting a garden or a farm. We are planting a whole earth right now.
I wonder if everybody out there is gonna make
Zoom. Everyone's still there. Thank you for bringing them in, Susanna. All right. At this point, Nomi, there's a poem that I've asked you to read. If everyone would open up your handout to page 11, and that will be followed by the aliyot that the shofar wrote and the sounding of the shofar, those 3 times. Lenny, why don't you come up now so you're ready to open the ark?
Apologies, I did start to lose my voice last night, so
Do you want to hear my song?
yeah. This is by Muriel Ruckhauser on page 11 of the handout. We tell beginnings for the flesh and the answer, or the look, the lake in the eye that knows, for the despair that flows down in widest rivers, cloud of home, and also the green tree of grace, all in the leaf, in the love that gives us ourselves. The word of nourishment passes through the women, soldiers, and orchards rooted in constellations, white towers. Eyes of children saying in time of war, what shall we feed? I cannot say the end. Nourish beginnings. Let us nourish beginnings. Not all things are blessed, but the seeds of all things are blessed. The blessing is in the seed. This moment, this seed, this wave of the sea, this look, this instant of love, years over wars, and an imagining of peace, or the expiation journey towards peace, which is many wishes flaming together, fierce, pure life, the many living home, love that gives us ourselves in the world known to all, new techniques for the healing of the wound and the unknown world, one life or the faring stars.
Thank you, Nomi. Before we go to the rest of the Musaf, I think that the mic is running out of batteries, so it keeps disappearing. So I'm going to move over there. And then we will, yep, it went out again. So. Sorry?
You do announcements.
I'm going to do that after before Paddy Chaton. Is that okay? You can go sit down back if you want. We turn now to 307 from aliyot and invite Lenny to open the ark. We rise for the first section of Rosh Hashanah, paying attention to all that is beyond our control, all of the power in the universe that we hope to access, but we cannot control. We call that Melech, the king. And again, I have chosen not to do the prostration on Rosh Hashanah, but to save that just for Yom Kippur. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol l'teit kedula le'otzeh b'reishit shenatan lanu Torah emet
בחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 309. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד. Please remain standing for the sounding of the shofar for Malchuyot. Tkiya. Shvarim Trua. Tkiya. Tkiya. Shvarim. Tkiya. Tkiya. Trua. Tkiya. Areshet Zevadenu Eram Venisa Areshet Zevadenu Yerav Lefanecha Eram Venisa Mevinu Mazin Moabitu Makshiv Akol Tekiyatenu Tekiyatenu Tkabel Berachamim Rachamim Uvratzon Seder Malchuyotenu. Take our seats and turn to 313. Zichronot. We fill ourselves with memory. Every day there are new memories and we review them selectively. Perhaps we can take this time to remember those things we have forgotten, the forgotten things we carry with us as well. That is how we know that God remembers, because God holds all that is forgotten. And we draw on them to help us into the future. All right, so I have put to a melody part of the this chanting on page 313, starting 6 lines down because it's remembering, and the song is Try to Remember. Zacharti lach chesed nurayich ahavat klulotayich lech techacharai b'midbar be'eretz lo zerua v'nemar zacharti ani et briti otach B'menurayich v'hakimoti lach brit olam v'nemar haven yakir li Ephraim im yelet shashuim ki midei daberi vo Zachor eskarenu od al ken hamu me'alo rachem acharamenu ne'um Adonai. Please rise 314 for the sounding of the shofar for Zichronot. Tkiya. Shvarim trua. Tkiya. Tkiya. Shvarim. Tkiya. Tkiya. Teruah. Tkiya. Reshet Zafateinu Yarav Lafanecha El Rab Venisa. Reshet Zafateinu Yarav Lafanecha El Rab Venisa. Mevinu mazin mabitu makshiv L'kol tekiyatenu Tekiyatenu Tkabel Barachamim Barachamim Uvratzon Seder Seder Zichronotenu. Take our seats as we turn to 317, the shofar. It's a very primitive sound, that shofar, but it is one of the first musical instruments ever, reminding us that music is part of our redemption. As we've missed singing together, we realize how uplifting it is for us to all be together. That's just one sign of the redemption that the shofar promises. So I'd like us to consider what that redemption might look like, whether it's in a seed we plant, a kind act we see, or somewhere in the distance. What is it that we hope that the shofar will bring to us? Let's sing Psalm 150. Kol hanashama hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanashama hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. El bekodsho, hallelujah, bireki auzo. Hallelujah, Vigavorotav, hallelujah, Kerov Gudlo, Kol Hadashamata, hallelujah, 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 Beteka shofar, hallelujah, Beneva v'chinor, hallelujah, betov umachol, hallelujah, b'minim be'ogav, kol shamata, hallelujah, 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 betziltzalei shama, hallelujah, betziltzalei trua, hallelujah, betziltzalei shama, hallelujah, betziltzalei trua, kol hanashamata, hallelujah, 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 kol hanashamata, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Please rise once again, the shofar of shofarot on 318. Tikia. Shvarim trua. Tkia. Tkia. Shvarim. Tkia. Tkia. Teruah. Tkia Gedolah. שפתנו ירב לפניך, אל רם ונישא. הרשת שפתנו ירב לפניך, אל רם ונישא. מבין ומאזין, מביט ומקשיב, לכל תקיעתנו, תקיעתנו תקבל ברחמים, ברחמים וברצון, סדר, סדר, שופרותינו. In the middle of the page. היום הרת עולם, היום ימיד במשפט. כל יצורי עולמים, כל יצורי עולמים. עם כוונים, עם כבדים, עם כוונים רחמנו, כרחמיו על בנים. ועם כבדים עינינו לך תלויות, עד שתחננו, עד שתחננו, ותוציך אור משפטנו. היום, היום קדוש, היום, היום קדוש. Just before we go to Hayom, you can take your seats, turn to 292. We're going to close this Musaf service with the prayer that we all be written. B'Sefer Chaim, bracha v'shalom u'farnasa tova, not only life, but blessing, peace, and a good living. B'Sefer Chaim, bracha v'shalom u'farnasa tova, nizacher v'nikatev lefanecha. אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל, לחיים, לחיים טובים ולשלום. Now, Emily opens the ark, page 319. Hayom, today, we'll do the same one we did yesterday. I think I was told there were 113 Hayoms. If you want to check, feel free. Hayom, 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 Tamseinu. Hayom, 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 Hayom. Hayom, 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 Tevarchenu. Hayom, 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 Tegadlenu. Hayom, 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 Tidrashenu Letova. Hayom, 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 Tichtevenu Lachayim Tovim. Hayom, 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 Tishma Shavatenu. Hayom, 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 Tikabel brachamim uvratzon et tfilatenu. Hayom, 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 Titmechenu bimin tzidkecha. Thank you. I'm going to take our seats. We'll pause so that Craig can offer some announcements before we go to Kaddish Yatom.
Shana Tova. Welcome to HBT for the High Holy Days. We're so happy to have you with us, both in person and remotely today. If you have not yet taken a grocery bag for the Grow Clinic, please pick one up today as you leave and bring it back next week. And next week is Kol Nidre, Wednesday evening, September 15th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. And Yom Kippur is a full mind-body experience. In addition to praying in the sanctuary on Thursday, the 16th, from roughly 10 o'clock, well, exactly 10 o'clock until roughly 1:30, HBT extends an invitation to you to open your heart to tshuva, a return to wholeness, in a variety of ways: yoga, discussion, and meditation between 1:30 and 5 o'clock. And then afternoon services, including Yizkor at 5, followed by Mincha, Ne'ilah, Havdalah, and Shofar. Please see the temple newsletter and the website for more information about all High Holy Day services and events. And when you leave, please bring your name tag back with you. You can bring it home or leave it in the basket out in the lobby. And if you have name tags at home from previous years, please bring them back as part of that recycling. That was one of our seed prayers for the coming year. And wish everyone a Shana Tova Umituka.
Shana Tova. Thank you, Craig. Please turn to page 324. A number of us are saying Kaddish this second day of Rosh Hashanah. This is the 34th anniversary of my father's death. It was, he died my first Rosh Hashanah after finishing rabbinical school. And it's just sad that he has never been able to be part of that experience in my life, but he is with me every second day of Rosh Hashanah. And I welcome anyone else who wants to share who you're saying Kaddish for before we begin, if you choose or not. Nomi? Okay, Diane? Serena? What? So those who are saying Kaddish are invited to stand. The rest of us, including everyone on Zoom, please give your loving attention to people saying Kaddish and make the appropriate responses as a form of comfort. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich balkutei b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Israel ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen v'yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ol'omei almaya. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitramam, Yitnaseh, Yitadar, Yitaleh, Yitalal, Shemei Dekudesha B'rihu. La'ela ula'ela Nikol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechamata Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Tovim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru, Oseh shalom bimramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. We close with Adon Olam, 3:30, and as we bring back people who have added to our service, I'm always recalling Daniel Laufer in teaching us the Israeli kindergarten song that Shana Tova, that is our melody for Adon Olam. We keep, and that's how we end with Shana
Tova, Shana Tova. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shmo Nikra Shana Tova, Shana Tova. ואחרי כפלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה, והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה. שנה טובה, שנה טובה. והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשיל לו, להכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה. שנה טובה, שנה טובה. והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי בעת צרה. והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. שנה טובה, שנה טובה. בידו הפקיד רוחי בעת אישן בעירה. ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא. שנה טובה, שנה טובה. May all the seeds, whether they're planted or they simply find their way, bear the fruits from A to Z that we hope for in the new year. Shana Tova Umetuka.